Forgotten Ohio, real news, real local.
Welcome to the Forgotten Ohio podcast. I'm Karen Fatula. A standing room only crowd of concerned residents packed Wallace Lodge in Sally Buffalo Park in Cadiz, Harrison County, on Tuesday evening as village, state, and Ohio EPA officials answered tough questions about Cadiz's ongoing drinking water problems. Residents described discolored water, stained laundry, and repeated boil advisories, and one person even said a neighbor's white hair turned yellow after showering. The Ohio EPA also confirmed past water turbidity issues and said they were present to listen to residents' concern and to answer questions. The Cadiz water system serves approximately 3,801 residents in Harrison County and is classified as a Class 3 public water system according to the Ohio EPA. Ohio EPA officials said major operational problems were identified during 2025, although many residents said water issues had existed for several years. But the meeting wasn't just about what went wrong. Village officials publicly outlined what they believe could be the long-term solution, stopping treatment of drinking water from Tappan Lake and purchasing treated water from Martins Ferry in Belmont County instead. Today, we'll explain what officials said, why they believe that option may be the best path forward, what the Ohio EPA says caused the recent water problems, and what happens next. One of the evening's strongest statements came from Cadiz Mayor R. Kevin Jones. He told residents he believes Cadiz should no longer operate its own drinking water treatment system. Speaking with me after the meeting, Jones said village officials met for 3 hours Tuesday morning with Ohio EPA representatives and other officials to discuss several options. Those included building an entirely new treatment plant, renovating the existing one, or purchasing treated drinking water from Martins Ferry from Belmont County by connecting to lines in Harrisville. Jones believes that last option makes the most sense. Jones estimated the regional connection would cost between $6 and $12 million. By comparison, replacing Cadiz's aging treatment plant could cost $20 to $30 million. If funding can be secured, Jones believes the project could be completed in roughly 18 months. Jones said the village's biggest challenge is relying on surface water from Tappan Lake. Surface water changes with weather, algae growth, and naturally occurring minerals. He believes drinking water should come from Martins Ferry, while Tappan Lake could continue supplying industrial customers. The village would also maintain its groundwater wells as emergency backup.
I think the solution that we had a meeting about this morning is our best solution, our fastest solution, and our cheapest solution. I think tying on to the water source at Martins Ferry in Harrisville, it'll be a faster deal for us, and also we can seek funding so our water bills should not go up. I'm not going to guarantee that, but I'm just saying that we can get a lot of other funding to do this project. It's between a $6 and $12 million project. We have to do a lot of preliminary work yet, but that's the guesstimate. Replacing our plant, that's another option. That's 20 to 30 million. That's a several year project. And we're still dealing with surface water, which that's what we need to get out of the water business. You need to keep tapping for industry only, not treating, not drinking, not bathing, and go to well water. We have 2 existing wells. Our Councilman Peters is working very diligently on finding pump pressures, static pressures, and how that could be a backup for our connection to Harrisville. We need a backup in case we get turned off. And those are looking really good as far as the levels of iron and other underground things you have to worry about. But that'll be our best solution, our quickest solution. It's an 18-month turnaround. We're going to be testing for all these other chemicals, manganese and everything on a day-to-day basis, so we can stay on top of our situation that hit us here lately for 18 months, we're going to definitely be watching our water. But when the water comes in our intake, it takes 16 hours before we get it. So that's a problem.
Ohio EPA officials spent much of the evening explaining exactly what investigators discovered. According to the agency, several operational problems came together during 2025. Among them, high turbidity, or cloudy water, improper maintenance of monitoring equipment, incorrect water sampling, problems with filter backwashing, structural damage to one of the plant's filter beds, and limitations with the aging treatment plant itself. Officials also confirmed that naturally occurring manganese in Tappan Lake has contributed to yellow, brown, and even black water, metallic taste, and staining of laundry. They emphasized, however, that manganese leaving the treatment plant has remained below Ohio EPA's lifetime advisory level. The agency says the problems have been largely aesthetic, not evidence that the water exceeded health advisory levels for manganese. Ohio EPA officials said substantial repairs have already been completed. Those repairs include replacing filter media, rebuilding the damaged filter bed, cleaning and recalibrating monitoring equipment, improving sampling procedures, restoring activated carbon treatment, cleaning the plant's clear well, increasing monitoring throughout the treatment process. Officials also received assistance from the Rural Community Assistance Partnership, Steubenville water operators, and Ohio EPA engineers. They say the repaired filters are now producing much lower turbidity than before. Even with those repairs, Ohio EPA officials cautioned residents not to expect an immediate solution. The plant is aging. Engineering studies must still be completed. Funding has to be secured. Construction will take time. Officials summarized the situation with a simple message, quote, "There is no quick or simple solution," end quote. The agency continues to monitor manganese, turbidity, lead, copper, algae, and other source water conditions, while bottled water and water buffalo stations remain available to the community. State Representative Ty Moore from Ohio's 95th District also addressed residents. He pledged to work with state leaders once village officials decide on a permanent solution. Moore also promised to make sure state leaders understand what residents have been experiencing. During the meeting, residents didn't hold back. Some questioned whether officials themselves would shower in the water. Others asked about bacterial testing. They asked whether conditions in Tappan Lake had changed and whether hydraulic fracturing or fracking might be responsible. Ohio EPA officials said they have found no evidence that fracking has affected Tappan Lake's water quality. They also said additional studies of the lake are continuing because they still want to better understand changing conditions affecting the source water. The meeting offered residents some information of what happened to Cadiz's water and a possible long-term path forward. While no final decision has been made, village leaders appear increasingly focused on connecting Cadiz to the Martins Ferry water system rather than continuing to rely solely on Tappan Lake for drinking water. Funding, engineering, and approvals still lie ahead, but officials say they're committed to finding a permanent solution. Forgotten Ohio will continue following the story. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to the Forgotten Ohio podcast on YouTube, follow us on your favorite podcast platform, and sign up for our free Substack newsletter at ForgottenOhio.com. I'm Karen Fatula. Thank you for listening to Forgotten Ohio. Real reporting, real people, real Ohio, covering the Ohio Valley and Ohio Appalachia. Thank you.
Forgotten